still reach your goals in the midst of chaos. Hey guys, Jim Edwards here. Welcome to another edition of Letting the Chickens Out with Jim. So I'm going to share a story with you I don't think I've ever shared before because I am not particularly proud of my behavior in that moment. But for whatever reason, I feel compelled to share it. So it was 2001. It was 2000. And I was working for a company as the vice president of special projects. I had created this CD product. It was my first multimedia CD. I'd figured out all this cool stuff, how to burn everything onto the CD and create this amazing product. And I needed to create the sales letter for it. And I was working from home, and I knew that this was going to be the thing that was going to change it for me. I don't know how I knew this, but I knew it was going to be the thing that was going to change everything. And I was living in a trailer, and I was making $1,500 a month. That was my salary. I was a vice president, and I was making $1,500 a month. But I knew that I was going to get a percentage of the sales on this thing, so I needed to get it done. And I had no money. We were fresh out of bankruptcy. I was living, like I said, in a trailer park and just feeling like so up against the wall. So for 2 days, I'm sitting there struggling my ass off to write this sales letter, going nuts. I mean, working 12 hours a day on this thing. And then all of a sudden, the power went out. And I lost what I had worked on up to that point that I hadn't saved. I didn't lose everything. But I was like, oh, great. The power just went out. It's like, could anything else be wrong? So I went outside and I saw that somebody had cut the power line leading to my trailer. The next door neighbor's phone line had been cut, so they were jury rigging it into the box near my house. They hired some jackleg to come and bury the cable, and they cut my power line, and I lost it. This is the part that I'm not real proud of. I literally lost it. I came flying out the door of that trailer with, I don't even remember what I was saying, but I know it was pretty incoherent. And the guys that cut the power line were so scared that they literally ran out of my yard, got in their truck, and drove away and left all of their equipment. I called my wife, who at the time was working at the police department, and I was so freaked out, she didn't even recognize my voice and kept saying, "Sir, you need to calm down. Sir, you need to calm down." I called my boss, and he was so freaked out by what I was saying that he actually drove an hour to my house to see if I was okay. And that is not how to handle chaos when you're in the middle of trying to reach your goals. Now, about an hour later, I had calmed down. I actually got the neighbor to run me an extension cord from their trailer over to my trailer. I hooked it up to the power strip that my computer was hooked up to, and sat there in the cold with no furnace, no heat, nothing. Got back to work on that sales letter, and I was able to recover what I had, write what had been lost, finish the thing, and that sales letter went on to start making my boss $100,000 a month in sales, and I got fired not too long thereafter. So why do I tell you that story? I tell you that story because that's how not to it's how to react and how not to react. what do I mean? Well, let's start with the not react. When things go wrong, the last thing you should do is freak out and lose your stuff. See, April, I didn't say the other S word. Lose your stuff. You don't want to do that. You've got to stay calm. You've got to keep your wits about you. You've got to stay focused. Now, what was the good thing that I did in that situation? I was so focused on getting that sales letter done. I was so focused on getting that product out that I wouldn't let anything stop me. Nothing was going to stop me from doing what I knew I needed to do in that moment, and to do it long enough to get the results. So when there's chaos going on around you, when there's political strife, when there are financial problems, when there are relationship problems, whatever your goal is, you have to remain laser focused at all times. Not at the expense of everything else, but along with everything else. So you don't sacrifice your relationships to reach your goals. You figure out how to reach your goals and grow and develop and maintain your relationships at the same time. You don't sacrifice them. You figure out how to bring them all along with you. Now, whether that means going to bed a little earlier, getting up a lot earlier, whatever you need to do. There were times when I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning to work on stuff in order to make it happen. So there's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now, and I hate to break it to you, it's not going to get any better. It's not going to ease up. It's only going to get worse before it ever gets better. So we have a choice. Do we let the chaos rule us, or do we succeed in spite of the chaos? Do we freak out and lose our stuff, or do we have the intestinal fortitude, the internal strength to say that, no matter what, I will succeed, I am going to keep this together, and I am going to make this happen. So I just share that with you. I don't know why I was led to share that story this morning, because it was not one of my finer moments. In fact, it was one of my worst. But in some way, I held it together, or got it back together, and got it across the finish line. So when chaos seems to be ruling, just don't choose to participate in the chaos. Stay focused and stay on target, stay on track, stay on purpose, and keep taking action towards your goal. So everybody, have a great day. I will talk to you soon, and bye-bye, everybody.